everyone, I'm Sapna and today we have with us Srishti Gupta. So talking about Srishti's journey, she had done her schooling from Indian school Wadi Kabir. Later on, she moved to UK to pursue her BSc honours from Loughborough University, and she also did a master's from Nottingham Trent University. She also holds a professional degree from the Chartered Institute of Marketing. Besides that, she has worked across various marketing roles across various organizations. Currently, she is associated at Lenovo as Associate Marketing Manager. So, Srishti, we are elated to have you with us today. Uh,
Glad to be here.
yeah, so starting with the initial journey, which we all as school students face, is what our career aspirations would be like. And so I'm interested to know what was your career aspiration when you were in school, and how has it changed over a period of time when you moved to college and now you are in the corporate world?
It's I think for me personally, it's been an always changing journey, right? So I think I didn't have much clarity until I was in class 10th about what I really wanted to do, right? So um, as a kid, remember, I wanted to be an astronaut, and that was the first memory I have of having a career aspiration. But when I started growing up, I was always good in studies, but not interested in science. So I always was very confused about what I wanted to do eventually. And so at that time, the school used to do this program called People to People program, where they used to nominate a couple of kids to go to the US to different universities and kind of interact with students during their summer break, right? So it was kind of like a student exchange, but yeah, I mean something like that. So I was in school Valley, and that program ran for I think about 4 5 years. So I was part of that group of students who went there, and they got me really thinking, and I realized I narrowed down a couple of things that I really like to do. Right, so I realized I really like to talk to a lot of people, learn about new things. I used to really enjoy traveling. I used to really enjoy understanding new cultures. And I was like, okay, this is all fine, but how do you translate that into a career, right? All of that is very vague things that you enjoy as passions or hobbies. So when I started really putting my mind to it and I started thinking about what was the area that could really allow me to experience all of these things that I enjoy, right? And that is when I thought about the career in journalism. And that's where I realized a lot of my passion at the time used to lie, right? So I wanted to, I used to love writing, I used to love talking to people, I used to love understanding new things, learning new things, making new contacts, going out and, finding out more about a particular problem. So I used to love reading as well. So all of these things combined, I realized that journalism was something maybe that I could really see myself pursuing as a career. And from there, I think it's been a always changing journey. So even when I started studying journalism, so I didn't do journalism, I did media communication. And when I was doing that course, I realized that I was really interested in film studies as well. So for a short duration, I specialized in film studies. From there, I did a lot of work in the marketing side of things, and that's where I really started moving towards marketing. Towards the third year of my undergraduate studies, I started, kind of focusing in on marketing. Even now, I think it's an always changing journey. So, I started out in digital marketing and social media. Then I started moving towards different areas of marketing. So, for example, moving more towards ATL marketing like TV and newspaper broadcasting. Then now I'm also more moving towards data analytics and looking at how data analytics is kind of changing the different fields in the industry. So I think it's never. I think that's my journey so far, and so far I find myself doing brand marketing. But I'm sure in a couple of years things will change again. Yeah.
Yeah. So, since you said you were good in studies, the nerd sort of person, was choosing commerce easy decision for you?
Um, yeah, I think for me it was always an easy decision between science and commerce because science was never my thing, right? As nerdy as I was and as good as my grades would have been, I really struggled with physics. Like I think I literally cried before my 10th standard board exam in physics, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this. And I still really enjoy chemistry and biology. Like those were two subjects I still really like. But physics, I was very sure that I just could not get my head around and just did not want to pursue that any further. So I think for me it was there was also the option of arts, but I think at the time in Muscat, the options to study arts were very limited. So I would have to have moved schools to Indian School Muscat, and I think at that stage I didn't want to leave my friends, so it was commerce as a natural option.
Yeah, all right. Even for me, it was easy decision. I didn't want to take science. I just had the option of commerce and humanities. I didn't think of the other option. Okay. So now, what fascinated you to pursue your bachelor's at Loughborough University, and particularly in communication and media studies? And how was your experience shifting to an entirely different culture environment?
Oh wow! So a lot of big questions there, right? So I think when I was looking at universities, I was pretty clear that I wanted to maybe explore something either in and like I mentioned earlier, I'd been to US for that people-to-people student exchange program. And I'd also been to UK to travel generally with my family and stuff. And what I realized was that I maybe enjoyed the European culture a little bit more than I did the US culture. And one of the biggest influencing factors for me was one of my alumni from Indian School Vadikabi was at the same university. So she actually told me, okay, you know what, I'm sure you haven't heard of this place, but consider it. It's a very good university. And then I started researching into, what were the different universities within UK where this particular course was, top ranking. I looked at a lot of different guides that kind of said, overall, what were the university ranking versus for this particular course, what were the different rankings, student life in general, costs, and looking at all the different factors that come into being. And then of course having that alumni there, for me was a big factor as well, because you suddenly feel okay, you're moving to a foreign country, but at least you know one friendly face in that place, right? So that was one decision. And I think UK, another reason why I made the choice was one of my closest friends from school at the time was also moving to UK, even though different university altogether. But again, that played some influence in me picking, going to the UK. All of that combined, I think the experience was amazing, right? So just generally, I think at that age when you're 18 and you're moving to a new country, you're suddenly thrown into the deep end. Everything from opening your first bank account to, going and buying groceries for yourself, and suddenly realizing that there's a big accent barrier between what English you speak versus what people there speak. And you're suddenly having to make friends in a very, very different environment, very different culture. Their style of music was very different, their style of partying was very different, everything they did was very different. So, even for example, the weather, right? Suddenly going from Oman, where it's like 40 degrees in summers, to going to the UK, where it's like 0 degrees in winters, right? So, it was extremely different adjusting to the way you dress, the way you talk, going to the lecture and trying to understand the teacher's accents. So then they also have, for example, we are so used to in the CBSE doing exams, right? There it was suddenly in my degree, it was all essay writing. And I'd never done essay writing in my life before. Suddenly you're told to write 2,500 words on an academic essay using citations and things like that. And I was completely lost. So I think it's a very interesting experience, and I think overall I would definitely recommend it to everyone, at least if you get the opportunity to, if not your undergraduation, but definitely if you can do your masters outside, because it really opens up your perspective to a host of new ideas. You meet people from all over the world, you meet people from different backgrounds, different styles of living, different cultures and languages, and you really learn so much. And even today, for example, I have friends all across the world because of the 4 years that I spent in the UK, right? So, for example, if I just want to pick up and go to Europe, I know I have a friend's house that I can stay at. Just generally building those connections and being able to learn and put yourself out there, I think it's a brilliant experience.
Yeah, and once in life you have to stay away from parents and experience that. That is
Exactly, right? Because I mean, especially in Oman, you grow up in a very, very like like safe environment, right? You're always brought up in a very, very protected, bubbled environment. And when you move out, to a different country, you suddenly realize how much more there is to life. So definitely recommend it to everyone.
Yeah, and was the communication and media studies a major or a minor over there?
It was a major for me. So UK doesn't have a lot of minors, so their structure of education is slightly different. So you have majors that you choose, but then you can kind of do a couple of modules from different subjects. So, for example, when every year I would pick up modules from different subjects like psychology, sociology, politics, economics. So even though you don't call it a minor, you still do some subjects of a different course there.
And then what fascinated you later on to further pursue a master's from a different university and focused in marketing? And how and when did you discover your passion for marketing, which was slightly different?
Correct. So very interesting that you asked this, right? So, like I mentioned, my career path has always been very undefined, and I think I've learned to be open to new ideas. So, when I was in Loughborough doing my undergraduate in media studies, we had something called a media center on campus. So what this media center was basically a voluntary organization where you can come and do hands-on experience on different things like you can be a radio jockey, you have a TV station, so you can go around filming things, recording stuff on the professional big cameras. Then you sit in an editing room and then you edit out this footage that you've got together. You create videos out of that. You put it out on social media. You promote the content that you're creating. Similarly, there was a magazine on campus. So there were a lot of different things in this media center that you could volunteer with and get kind of build your profile whilst you're studying, right? So when you go out, you have some concrete work examples to give to potential employers. So I started volunteering there from the first second week that I was on campus. I was very clear that this was something that I wanted to build throughout my 3 years whilst I was studying. So I went through all the different departments over the 3 years, everything from TV to magazine to radio to the magazine. Sorry, I mentioned yeah. So I went through basically all the different departments, and what I realized there was that they had in different positions that you can take up, right? So whilst you're filming the stuff, now as a team you have to do different parts. So there would be a director, there would be a VP, there would be a marketing person, there would be a finance person, there would be an ops person, operations person who's managing all the schedules and everything. So I started getting drawn towards the marketing function where I realized that I was over the 3 years doing a lot of marketing work for the different departments. So the content that we created, we were promoting it to the students. We were trying to get more people to watch the stuff that we were doing, or we were trying to get more people to come and volunteer with us and join us and enhance the programs that we were running, for example. So that is why I started doing a lot of marketing work, and I realized that I was actually interested in it. At the same time, we also had a module in marketing as part of our course. We had digital media as part of our course, and social media played a big part of that. The second big chunk that came about from my marketing experience was this charity that I started volunteering with in my final year at Loughborough. So there was a housing agency that they used to support homeless people within the community. So what they would do is they would try and gather funds for all of the work that they were doing. They would try to put out social media stuff. They would engage in different events around the community. They would try to basically up their profile so that people would come and donate to them. also that they would they would work as a proper, so they worked as a proper company as such. They weren't they weren't very small. They were pretty big within Loughborough. So with during my last year, when I started volunteering with them and I started managing their social media. So I started doing a lot of content creation. I started doing Photoshop stuff to take stock imagery and add content on it. Then I got involved in the branding process. So they went through this whole identity creation process with an external consultant, and they took my inputs whilst that was happening. So for me, it was a very, very exciting time to be part of that organization, right? And I'm so grateful that I did that in my during my course. So going through that entire process, I realized that I was actually very good at it, and I really enjoyed doing this marketing as well. And somewhere I felt that it was a little more stable kind of a field where I could, do a 9 to 6, but also enjoy the benefits of, the crazy lifestyle of going to events and like meeting new people and engaging with the people and traveling to different locations. So it combined everything that I wanted in the journalism field, but also gave me that stability of a 9 to 6 kind of a job. So that is where I think it was a big draw for me in marketing. Um, I think the next question you asked was why did I pick Nottingham per se, right? Again, couple of reasons why. So firstly, it was very close to Loughborough. So I had all my friends already at this university that I had spent 3 years with. So I didn't want to go very far from Loughborough. Second thing was I think the cost was a very important factor for me, right? At that stage, I was very inclined to be able to fund a huge chunk of my education by myself. So I didn't want to depend on my parents anymore. And I said, okay, you know what, I'm 21. Maybe I should try and apply for scholarships and look for student loans and things like that. So this particular university, firstly, was very close to. I mean, I was very. I knew Nottingham very well because I used to travel there for a lot of work and for a lot of, general day spending and stuff. Because it was very close to my previous university. So I knew the area well, and I there were two universities there, and this particular university, like I said, had a it was slightly cheaper. It had a very good scholarship program, and it was a big enough town that I knew that I would be able to get good part-time jobs. So I think these three factors for me were very important when I was picking this university. Also, they had a very good business program. So their business school is pretty reputed within UK, and they were in the top 15, 20 universities within UK. So I think that was one of the major deciding factors as well. That the course is also pretty good. There was one particular aspect of the course which was at the end of the course, you don't have to do your typical thesis dissertation program. They had something called as an in-company project. So what they do is during the last part of your course, instead of a thesis, they put you within an actual company. They place you within a company. You work with the director of the company to come up with their marketing plan. So that they could kind of give you a brief and they would say, okay, I want to up my marketing program with this kind of a budget within such a time frame. Now you come up with a strategy for me. So basically you do the entire marketing planning for that company for a period of 3 months. So this for me was very good practical experience to, and this was also guided, right? So you know that you're going into the real world, but with some guidance from the university, right? So this was actually very interesting for me, and this was also one of the key deciding factors when I was picking this particular course. So yeah, so these were a couple of things that influenced my decision.
Yeah, great reasons. And so I think you also pursued your professional degree from Chartered Institute of Marketing at that point of time itself, right? Could you share more about it, and when can one pursue it? Like, what is the basic thing required to give those exams?
Okay, so the Chartered Institute of Marketing, the way they function in the UK, so they're a UK body. They're a recognized body from UK. The way they function is that they have tied up with a bunch of universities across UK. And when you're doing your degree in marketing, it could be your undergraduate or your master's, you can tie up with the university and say, I want to do a dual degree. So, for example, what my university did was that So for this particular, so they have again different levels. They have level 4, level 6, level 8. So for level 4 that I have, the university said, okay, look, you have to do these 4 extra modules, right, for this particular degree. So it's like you're studying for a degree, you have to meet these credits. But what advantage that we will give you is that whilst you're studying this degree, you will already get these credits as part of your course. So about say for I don't remember the exact credit system, but say let's assume you need about 80 credits to get this course, this degree level 4. So 40 degrees automatically get covered as part of what you're already studying at the university. So then you only have to do these 40 extra credits, which you can do outside of your course or in your extra time, and then you get this additional certificate. So what the university did for us, for example, once we had finished with all of our material, all of our exams and everything towards the end of the year, they did about like a crash course for us for about, I think, 8-12 hours. They took us through all the material for what was required for the additional 40 credits. Then they gave us a lot of self-study. So they gave us a lot of material to read. They gave us a lot of stuff to go through on our own, do some case studies, go through some business cases, and then at the end of it, you have to like any assignment that you do at university, you have to do 2 more assignments. So these were about, I think, 3,000-4,000 written word essays that we had to do, and they were business cases. So you pick up like a real life company, and the assignment will say, okay, you have to focus on these areas. So then you basically take that company's history and do your research and put it into context for what the assignment is asking. So that is the premise of it. But that being said, you don't have to always do it at the university. You can always choose to do it simultaneously whilst, for example, doing a professional, whilst you're working as a professional as well. Right. So, for example, if I want to enhance my certificate from a level 4 to a level 6, I can choose to put, and it's a paid degree, right? So at university it was free, but here if you're doing it as a professional, you'll have to pay for it. So I can pay some money to this Chartered Institute of Marketing. They'll do some classes. So it's like doing an online degree. So they'll do some classes, you have to attend those classes, and you have to do an assignment. Pretty similar to how you would do a course, for example. But yeah, their marking is pretty stringent, so it's not as simple as just doing an online course. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like doing an online course with a very detailed project, and you have a course guide as well. Will guide you through all the material. You can go back to them, ask questions whilst you're doing your assignments if you get stuck anywhere. So it's a very well managed, good degree to have at the end of the day.
So I think since it is a correspondence course, even when you're pursuing your bachelor's, you can do it, right?
Yes, exactly. So, like I said, a lot of universities offer it in the UK whilst you're doing your bachelor's in marketing, and then you can also do it during your master's. So, I think as a student, 99% of the times it becomes free. But if you want to do it as a professional, and if your company, for example, in corporate India, a lot of companies are willing to sponsor some of these degrees. So if you have someone who's willing to sponsor this degree for you, you can do it in your professional time as
well. But it is not necessary like to pursue a bachelor's or master's in UK. Like anyone can do it across the world, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, got it. That is a great thing. So next, what would be the best or worst career decision that you have ever made, or like any?
So, very honestly, I don't think there's ever a bad decision that you make, right? For me, it's been a lot of learning, and every job that I have taken, even the bad ones, even the ones where I didn't enjoy the work at all, I think that was great learning, and I wouldn't change that for anything, right? I think career paths are never focused. You can't say that I'm going to do only X in my life and just go towards that and say, I'm just going to focus everything towards X. Because what you will soon realize is that you may or may not enjoy that. You may or may not find yourself, being able to pursue what you want. There could be many things that happen in life, right? It could be financial issues, it could be career related issues, it could be opportunities that you're presented with. So for me, it was always the different opportunities that I was presented with whilst I was doing these things, right? Like I mentioned earlier, starting off with joining the media center at the university, doing the volunteering program with the charity that I was working with, then taking up a part-time role in a shop whilst I was doing my master's in marketing, doing a lot of shadowing programs. So universities usually have a lot of different networking events that you can go to. You can talk to a lot of people as like try to build a relationship with them and say, look, can I come to your office for a day? Can I, shadow some of your people? Can I just spend 2 hours asking you questions? And you know what? Like a lot of people are actually willing to do that, right? When you show curiosity and when you show enthusiasm and when you show interest, people love talking about their career, right? People love talking about what motivated them to uh, go into their field, for example. So that's what I did. Everyone I came across, I talked to them and tried to understand what motivated them to do something, right? What motivated them to get into, for example, the TV career or say leave journalism and pursue baking, right? So, or, anything of that sort. And I think it's always been great. For me, if I have to pick the biggest highlight of my career, I would say it was definitely joining Lenovo in India. Right? I think that for me was my first proper role after graduating, and I've been here for 4.5 years now. Um, and it's been great learning because what I was doing prior to this was working in a lot of small setups, working with a bunch of startups, working with unorganized companies, for example, where they didn't have a lot of marketing budget, for example. Now suddenly coming to a corporate where things function very differently, right? And I'm only saying this not because one is better than the other. The only reason I say this is because of the learning again. It was a very different learning curve when you move into a corporate. You start learning processes, you start learning, communication skills, you start learning how to manage budgets. Now, suddenly you're given a lot more money to spend. You're, working with very different target audiences. You're going for a very niche audience, but also a broad audience. So, how do you manage different programs altogether? Right? So it's a very different experience, but a great one for learning. So I think probably this has been my best decision I would say, but I think worst, I don't think there is ever any worst decision that you can make, right? Because every opportunity is a learning opportunity at the end of the day. Even if you hate the job, even if you say that this is something I will never do again in my life, it teaches you something, right? And that's what you have to take at the end of the day.
Yeah, true. So, what advice would you want to give to anyone who want to like pursue a career in marketing or something related to media or journalism? Like, is it necessary to pick a particular stream, or they can even do the same thing by taking science or commerce or humanities? Like,
see, marketing is slightly different from media communications, right? So, for example, when you're doing, if you're clear that you want to enter the business field, then I would definitely suggest that you do an MBA, right? Because for me, my career path was never that straightforward. I wasn't always sure that I wanted to do, I wanted to do work in marketing. So I was always very fluent with, the courses that I picked. Of but I would say if they are very clear that they want to get into a business field, for example, it could be finance, it could be sales, it could be marketing, it could be anything. Even if you come from a science background, right? I have so many friends who've done engineering but are today working in marketing. So, it's very fluid that way. It is very not fixed in stone. So I think the advice I want to give people is always be open to trying new things because it's your career at the end of the day. It's not like, don't carve it in stone when you're 18. I think that is the biggest mistake we tend to make, right? Because life happens and interests change and you don't want to be at a stage when you're 23 and you realize I hate what I do and now I'm stuck in this dead end job for the rest of my life. because that is the worst feeling that you can have, right? So always be fluid, always be open to learning new things, expanding your horizon, taking on new opportunities. So especially like when you're in your university and you're doing your masters, you know, always try to get opportunities to do internships, to shadow people, to speak to new people, even if it's just saying that okay, I just want to do a day job. Take up any day job that comes your way, even if it's as simple as just just saying I want to work part time in a grocery store. Do it, because the kind of learning that you will get or the transferable skills that you will get out of it is brilliant, right? So always be open, always be willing to learn. And even now, specifically coming to media communications, that internship part was very true, because what you'll realize it is that there's a specific image that we go about how the industry is when you start doing your course, right? You have this image in your head that media or journalism is one thing. But when you actually go and sit in a magazine's office, or when you actually go and work in, say, a news room, the the kind of work that you will get to experience, or the kind of things that you get to do, are very, very different, right? Very different. And that just changes your perspective on what you imagine the industry to be versus what it actually is. So I think that is my biggest advice to everyone who's pursuing a degree.
Okay, so the insights that you provided about all of these were great, and I'm sure that it is going to help out all the kids, all the school students, especially who want to decide between colleges and universities. You can always reach out to us personally, and we are happy to help always. So, Srishti, at the end, what is one last advice that you would want to give all these school students? Like, just if you have to say it in one word, what would it be?
See, one word is too difficult, but maybe I can sum it up in short and say be open.